What's up, y'all? It's Dre, Big Bro, back once again with another story, man. Now, this story right here is just lessons that I learned from back in the day growing up as a youngin'. So, this is the story right here where I feel like I got violated. Now, this is back in 2015 when I started my CDO trucking school, right? I'm in the class and I'm in there chilling, you know what I mean? Go up in there, chopping it up with dudes, we learning, we sitting up there doing our work or whatever the case may be. It's this dude that's sitting 2 seats next to me, you know what I mean? Big, swole, light-skinned dude, dreads, got glasses, always got a hat on, and he just sitting there like, you know what I mean, just listening and just, you know what I mean? He ain't really talking to nobody. You know what I mean? Me, other people, we on the edge. I'm talking to people behind me. I'm talking to people in front of me. I'm talking to people beside me. And he's sitting there, ain't talking to nobody, just stern, just stern face. You know what I mean? Just one of them. So as the months went on, I'm in the parking lot one time. The dude came up to me, was like, yo. He was like, man,
And I see you trying to get the CDO, or you trying to pass the permit test.
He was like, man,
And I got a CD that got all the answers, you know what I mean? And you ain't even got to pay for it, you know what I mean? It's on the arm, I'm just trying to help out.
So I'm like, word? I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, yo, I appreciate that, man. So he give me the CD. I'm like, what's your name? He tell me, I know you, that's my man right now. Yo, I know you said I could say your name, but I ain't gonna say your name, yo. I'm gonna just say his name is I'm just call him Big V. Big V. He like, yo.
I'm Big V, yo.
So I'm like, all right, bet, yo, I appreciate that. Whatever, you know what I mean? So we ended up gaining a rapport. So in class, he still don't talk. Me and him still ain't talking class, but every time we would leave out of class, he was like, yo, you know what I mean? How was the CD? You know what I mean? That's good. You know what I mean? We chop it up. You know what I mean? Where you from? I'm from Brownstown. Sometimes I be up Liberty Heights and Glen Oak. You know what I mean? Where you from? You know what I mean? Emerson Village. You know what I mean? From Westport. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, all right, that's what's up. So we chop it up. So we cool in school. You know what I mean? So fast forward the tape, we ended up passing CDL school, and you know what I mean? He like, yo,
That's what's up, yo.
you know what I mean? I passed before him. So he was happy for me or whatever, passed it on the first try. You know what I mean? But he happy for me or whatever. So we ended up exchanging phone numbers. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? Holler at me one day, yo, you know what I mean? We can go out, chill, whatever, chop it up, you know what I mean? And if you find a job, you know what I mean, hook me up. If I find a good job, I'm gonna hook you up. I appreciate you for helping me get through this. You know what I mean? He's like, bet, good, cool. So fast forward the tape, I ended up working at this company called Cowan out Baltimore, Maryland. So I ended up working up there. I called the dude and told him like, yo, you know what I mean? I found me a job. I can get you up here. He like,
Bet.
dude came up there. I got him. I put in a good word. You know what I mean? He ended up working up Calvin with me. You know what I mean? So during that whole time, me and the dude became cool. You know what I mean? I learned how to drive I forgot how to drive with a stick shift. And then I learned again. I had to reteach myself. And then he forgot how to drive with a stick shift too, because as we just driving with all automatics. So eventually we knew like we not gonna stay here forever. So I ended up showing him how to drive a stick shift. We riding around, showing him how to drive a stick shift, and we was cool. You know what I mean? Sometimes I need a ride home. He'd get his girl to sit up there and give me a ride home up around Garrison Boulevard. And you know, we was cool. So one day we go out. You know what I mean? I got my homies from Ramstown. We ended up going out to Loafers up there off of the Loafers up there by goddamn Hilton Parkway. Off of Patapsco. We ended up going up to that one. Chilling up there. We like 15 deep. We got our girls up there. He come up there with his homeboy. I'm gonna call his homeboy Lil I'm gonna just call him Lil Nev. You know what I mean? Lil Nev. You know what I mean? So he came up there. He got a snake and everything. And the big homie V, he come through and he like, yo, you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like, let's go in here and have a good time. He showed me he got the big ratchet on. He got the, they get the mean. So he like, yo, you know what I mean? Look, yeah, you know what I mean? We good. So I'm like, dang, you know what? I'm like, what you need that for? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we go up in there, we chilling. He's still just stern, you know what I mean? He always on one of these. Like, I'm like, yo, you good? I'm like, yo, you want a drink or something? And he just like, yo, nah. He just sitting there like,
Nah. Y'all just have a good time, yo. Y'all just have a good time.
so, you know, he just like, you know what I mean, on one of them. So I'm like, dang, you know what I mean? Lighten up a little bit, big bro. You know what I mean? But anyway, we had a good time that night. Fast forward the tape. You know, we chopping up over the phone. He became a good friend. You know what I mean? Him and Lil Nev, they ended up coming to my crib when I moved out Owens Mills. I invited them to the crib. We ended up getting drunk out there. We playing spades together. You know what I mean? We had a little incident where I thought that my homegirl, she was out there and she lost her keys. So I was asking everybody like, yo, you know what I mean? Anybody seen her keys? Anybody seen her keys? Like, they was right here. I'm asking everybody like, you ain't put them in your pocket? And he like,
Yo, Dre, why would I put them in my pocket?
my dumb ass, I checked my pockets. I got the damn keys. I thought her keys was my keys. So, you know what I mean? He like,
Yo, why would I take her keys, yo?
you know what I mean? So, but that was like one little incident that we got into. But other than that, we was cool. You know, him and Lil Nev, they came through, we was cool. So, fast forward the tape a little bit more. We ended up going to my homeboy B house. B, that's like my brother, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've known him ever since I was like fucking 12, you know what I mean? So we ended up going to his crib and he lived with Lil John. So we over there and Big V come through and Lil Nev come through. They come through, it's me, Big V, Lil Nev, Lil John was there, B was there. And as of right now, I believe that was the only people that was there. You know, other than that, it's just a bunch of kids running around. And we in there getting sauced up, we drinking. You know what I mean? So, all right, so we in there, we chilling, listening to music. So Big V, he pulls out this 44, pulls out the 44 Magnum. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, y'all know. You listen to my stories, you know I done been shot 4 times. Chest, arm, back, you know what I mean? Went through the shoulder. I done been shot before, so when people around me got guns, I didn't know I got PTSD. So when people got guns, I get a little jittery. I'm like, be careful, you know what I mean? I get a little shook. You know what I mean? And when I get shook and when I get a little fearful, I ain't gonna lie, I don't like that. So I get dangerous. You know what I mean? And I start thinking crazy. But it's my survival instincts. So anyway, they got the big 4-4. They go out back in my man B crib. They go out there. They out there letting off. Letting off. So I'm up there, I'm just looking. I ain't even out there partaking, but I'm just looking like, damn, you know what I mean? I'm just keeping it cool. You know what I mean? I'm in the crib. So we end up drinking. We drinking, throwing back shots, you know what I mean? We in there having a good time. We in there partying. The big home, mind you, part of this story is chopping up with the big homie V. He told me back in the day he did time in prison. So, yeah, he told me he did time in prison. So in prison, he told me like, yo,
I was like a bully in there, yo.
you was a bully? What you was doing? He's like, yo.
I was just always angry, yo. You know what I mean? I ain't want to have no rap with nobody.
And even though like I met him, he ain't really had no rap with nobody. He still kind of had that attitude. So he was like,
yo, I ain't had no rap for nobody. I needed anger management. You know what I mean? Like, I would take the phone from dudes like, yo, you know, dudes would be like, yo, that's my slot time on the phone. I'd be like, yo, out of here, punk.
You know what I mean? On some Debo stuff. He'd be like,
yo, that's how I got this scar on my face. Cause
the dude had to come up and stab him up because he violated the dude on the phone. You know what I mean? So he was like, man,
I was carrying it that way. And, you know, I made a mistake, but I learned from my mistakes. You know what I mean?
So fast forward the tape. We partying at my man B house now, and they letting off the 4-4. So, also, my bad. I keep forgetting. See, stuff just starts coming up. Also, when I rapped with him one time, he was telling me how him and his homeboys that he know, they used to bang at each other. They used to be shooting at each other and stuff. You know what I mean? Him and some of his so-called friends, they be shooting at each other. I'm like, dang. I'm like, yo, I fight some of my friends, but I ain't never shoot at none of my homies. You know what I mean? I ain't never try to kill none of my homies. You know what I mean? We don't never really try to like crack each other's skull open or put bullets through each other. So that was something I was like, dang, I was like, yo, you know, I'm letting him know like, yo, that ain't really a friend. But I also know like, yo, that's his get down. That's how he get down. You know what I mean? And I respect it. I respect it. But, and I got a couple other homeboys that's the same way too. They like, yo, I ain't fighting no more, yo. Even if you is my homeboy, if you punch me in the face, I'm gonna lay you down. You know what I mean? They got that type of attitude. And I know, you know, some of them I can just look in their eyes and tell like, oh man, if I punch this dude in his nose, he gonna try fire on me, and I'm going back home to my children. So you know what I mean? It'd be like that. So anyway, all right. So we at my homeboy B house. So we wet. They letting off the 44. The dude, the shit sounded like an explosion. After that, we listening to music. We kicking it. Yo, Big V comes up to me like on some playful stuff. Man, yo, this is so embarrassing, and I'm up here just, I'm giving it to you raw. You know what I mean? I felt violated. You know what I mean? Because this ain't never happened to me before. Even as a little kid. You know what I mean? Just that never happened to me before. So, this is back. I was like 27 years old. I'm 38 right now. This is when I was like 27, 28. You know what I mean? So anyway. Yo, the dude come up behind me. I'm like, yo, yeah, I'm up there talking. I'm saying something. And he like, bop. He like, yo, bop. And he hit me on my behind. And he hit me on my hind parts. Yeah. So he did that. And I'm like, and he like, yo, Dre, you good? Yo, bop, you good? And I'm like, why you do that? Why you do that? I'm like, yo, don't do that. Why you do that? You know what I mean? I don't even play like that. I don't even really like that when I used to play basketball. You know what I mean? Dudes try to tap you on your behind and say like, good shot. You know what I mean? When I see dudes on the basketball court, they like, yo, good shot. I'm like, all right, yo. You know what I mean? You ain't got to touch another man's behind. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, why you do that, yo? And he like, yo,
what's wrong with you?
I'm like, yo, you know, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, yo, ain't nothing wrong with me, yo. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? Just don't do that no more, yo. Don't do that no more, yo. That ain't cool. I try to tell him, like, that's not cool, yo. Like, don't do that no more. And he like,
all right. You know
I mean, he said, all right. So I'm like, all right, yo, don't do that no more. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? So fast forward, it's like an hour and a half later, getting drunk. Trying to tell you, that liquor is terrible. That liquor, it bring evil spirits in all of us, man. It bring out spirits. Or sometimes you know what I mean, like man, we got another side to all of us. You know what I mean? We got our ego. That's something that has to be controlled. You know what I mean? So sometimes that damn liquor will just bring it out. You know what I mean? So like an hour and a half later, we chilling, we yada, get the man. He comes up, he like, yo, Drake, back up. And he does it again. Man. He hits me on my backside, my butt, my arm. Yo, he did that again, man. So I'm like, yo. And he like,
yo, what's up, yo?
And I'm like, yo, step outside real quick. And he like,
oh shit. He like, yo, Drake want me to step outside, yo. I think he about to fight me, y'all. About to fight me.
So I ain't saying nothing. I'm just like, yo, step outside. So I walk outside, go out the front door, go down the steps. It's just me and him. He coming behind me. So he like this. He like right here. Big swole motherfucker. So he coming behind me. So we get in the middle of the street, and I'm like, all right, yo, throw your hands up, yo. I'm like, throw your hands up. So he like, He put his hands up real slow. He like, so I'm like, all right, you ready? And he like, come on. I'm like, all right. Bop, bop, bop. I just start swinging at him. So he like, So he said, and I'm like, yo. And I'm like, and that's when I back up. I'm like, all right, come on. And he like, yo, he's glad. He like, yo,
What's your problem, yo?
we wear glasses. So he like, yo,
what's your problem, yo?
and I'm like, yo, I told you. I just start leaning on him. I'm like, yo, I told you, don't you ever touch me like that, shorty. I was like, I don't give a fuck what type of time you on, or you know what I mean, what type of bullying you doing, or if you trying to play me, I don't play them damn sex gay games. I don't play that bullying stuff. Don't be trying to son me. Don't try to little nigga me. Nothing. I was like, yo, don't do nothing. Don't do none of that. Don't do none of that. You know what I mean? I was dead serious. I was like, don't do none of that, yo. You know what I mean? I ain't playing. You know what I mean? And he was like, all right, yo, all right. You know what I mean? Fixing his glasses. He like, all right, yo. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right. I'm like, we good? He like, yeah,
we good. He like, damn, yo, you hit me on my base.
You know what I mean? I'm like, we good? He like, hey, yo. So something told me, I was like, man. So I was, you know what I mean? Sometimes when I get angry, like my ego goes up a little bit more too. You know what I mean? I start to feel like after I got my aggression off, I feel like invincible. So my dumb ass, I just start walking right in front of him back to the house. I'm like, all right, come on, let's go. Walking back to the house, right? And as soon as I'm thinking in the back, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, yo about to sneak me. I'm like, yo about to sneak me. I can feel it. You know what I mean? I can just feel it. And sure enough, I'm walking. Something said, and I'm on the ground. I'm like, oh, he just like, yo,
see what I can do to you, see what I can do to you.
He ain't hit me, but he grabbed me up and just put me on the ground. And we start wrestling in the street. You know what I mean? So we wrestling in the street. And he like, yo,
see what I can do to you, yo.
So I'm like getting up and I'm like, yo, get up me, yo. I'm like, yo, just get up me, yo. Get up me, yo. He like, yo, see what I can do. I'm thinking in my mind, like, you can't really do nothing. Cause I'm about to get up and just start swinging again. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to do that because as I'm walking, he didn't swing and hit me. He just wrestled me. So as we on the ground, I'm not really taking him that serious. I'm not all the way at 100. Cause I know he could have caught me and knocked me the fuck out and done me dirty. He could have did that. You know what I mean? But he grabbed me, and so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he ain't really trying to hurt me like that. So as yo did that, I'm getting up. I'm like, yo, get up me, yo, get up me, yo. So we get up, and I'm like, yo, I'm mad. I'm still mad though, because I trusted you not to do nothing. Then I thought about, I was like, yo, fuck around, do something as I walk away. But I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? Maybe you should just bounce, yo. He like, nah,
I ain't going. He like, nah, I ain't going nowhere.
I'm like, yo, it ain't really good, yo. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, why don't you just bounce, yo? I'll holler at you another time. He like, yo,
nah, we gonna chill. We gonna chill. I'm chilling, we partying, we chilling.
I'm like, all right, whatever, yo. We go back in the house. Don't nobody know what happened. You know what I mean? My homeboy B in there, he's still in there. You know, he's still in there partying. Kids still running around. Don't nobody really know what happened. Don't nobody know what happened. Lil John, then he's still in there. I don't know what he was doing. You know what I mean? He just walking around looking little. So I go in there. I ain't really saying, I ain't telling nobody what happened or nothing. I just go in there, sit down on the couch. I'm like, shh. Sitting down, and I'm irritated. And I'm thinking, oh, matter of fact, all right, so I forgot to say it. When we got up, he was like, yo, no, he didn't. No, he didn't say he wasn't fighting. He didn't say he wasn't fighting just yet. So we go back in the house, and I'm sitting on the couch, and that's when he walking there, and he walking behind me. He go back in there, and I think he told B. Like, hey,
yo, Jay hit me all on my lip, yo.
You know what I mean? And he walking around, and but me and him, we ain't talking. We ain't really saying nothing to each other. We ain't saying nothing at all, for real. And he just walking back and forth. And I'm looking this way, but I'm also watching him this way. You know what I mean? Every time I look this way, he'll walk this way, I'm watching him this way. You know what I mean? So I'm watching him. I'm looking around, and I remember that they had that 4-4. You know what I mean? I just start thinking, I'm like, oh, they got that 4-4. You know what I mean? They just bust off the 4-4. You know what I mean? This dude be shooting at his homeboys. You know what I mean? We got kids in here. My homeboy B got his kids running around. My godson in here. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like, damn, like, they don't even know these. We out Roundstown. Yo from Westport. His homeboy from the Avenue. You know what I mean? You know, dudes from the city out in Baltimore, dudes from the city, they be looking at the county like, man, these little niggas, and we had just carried them like it's easy. So I'm thinking about all this stuff in my mind, and I'm looking like, I'm like, what if he just get on some bullshit and like try to do me in? You know what I mean? What if yo get on some bullshit and just, you know what I mean, try to like, you know what I mean? Like, what if he can't hold it because he ain't saying too much, but he just walking around. Every now and then he'd give me a look. He just walking. You know what I mean? He just walking. You know what I mean? Every now and then give me the screw face. And I'm looking at him, giving him the screw face. And I'm looking like, shh. I was like, maybe I should hold on to that 4-4. You know what I mean? Just in case he tried to get emboldened. And I'm like, nah. You know what I mean? Nah, I got this. You know what I mean? And I'm taking the bullets out just in case you know what I mean? Here, this is the only way you can have this gun. I'm going to take the bullets out. You know what I mean? You ain't about to do nothing. You know what I mean? I told you, I'm nervous when it comes to people having guns around, especially if you got a gun and man, you got an issue right now. I do not want a gun in your hand. I do not want no bullets in that gun. So I'm thinking like, yo, they got that big ass 44 in here. I was like, I gotta get that joint and at least take the bullets out. You know what I mean? So I'm looking around and I ended up seeing the damn Magnum. They put it beside the couch. They put it right beside the couch. He ain't put it in his pocket. He put it beside the couch. And I'm like, there you go. You know what I mean? At first I thought his man had it. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, So I went and grabbed it. As soon as I'm about to put it in my pocket and go off and take the bullets out the joint, his man gets up and was like,
whoa, that's mine, yo.
I swear, yo, he scared the shit out of me, yo, because I ain't know nobody seen me. I was about, as soon as he grabbed it, I was like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, whoa. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, one, my man B, this is my man B house. I'm like, yo, you know, I don't want to make a mess in his house. And I know he gonna be like, yo, goddamn, yo, blood all over my Xbox, yo. And then I know we got Lil John, he around here, and I know he gonna tell. I know that if I do something like this, he gonna tell. So I know I do something to him. He grabbed the joint. I'm like, oh, Big V gonna come over there like, yo, you just shot my man, yo. I'm like, oh, boom, boom. You know what I mean? And then Lil John, he like, yo, what's that noise? What's that noise? You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, what noise? You heard the noise? He like, hey, yo, who are these people? Oh, John. You know what I mean? I know. I go up to my brother BB. You know, yo, you good, yo? You good? You know what I mean? I can see him now. He ain't gonna call the police, but he gonna. Hey, Mom. You know, I'm like, yo, get off the phone with Mama, yo. He like, yo, I'm calling my mother. No, you ain't. You know what I mean? I ain't want to have to do all this. You know what I mean? Then I'm thinking about the kids. I'm like, man, the kids in here, they, you know, Uncle Dre. You know what I mean? Uncle Dre. What you doing? What is this? And it's like, oh. So I quickly made a switch. He's like, yo, that's mine, yo. I'm like, shh. Like I'm damn near shaking. I'm like, I gave him the gun. I gave it to him. I was like, yo, put that up, yo. I was like, yo, put that up. I was like, put that up, yo. There's kids in here. He like, all right. He like, I got it. Puts that joint in his dick. I'm like, yo, shh. I sit back on the couch. I'm like, yo, please. I was like, he got that 4-4, and I know there's more bullets in that joint. It got 6 bullets, and they only shot that joint twice. It's got at least 4. You know what I mean? I know a 44. I took 9 millimeters. I ain't know if I could take a 44. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, man, he got that. I'm like, he got that. And I know homie on that type of time. You know what I mean? I know he done told me stories. Like, yo, these dudes don't play. You know what I mean? So my homeboy Corn Dog, he walks in there. So he comes in there and he this is when he just got a fresh 9. You know what I mean? So he kept a 9 on him. So I'm like, yo, so he could walk in there. I'm like, hey, yo, what's up, yo? You know what I mean? He like, yo, what's going on? He up there drinking. I'm like, hey, yo, let me, I was like, I just got into it with the big homie right there. You know what I mean? I just got into it with him. I was like, yo, and they got that 4-4 on him. Me and him just got into a fight, and yo keep giving me the screw face, and these niggas don't play. I was like, let me hold that real quick. Let me hold that just in case, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to get shot. He like, yo, Dre.
He like, Dre, you good. He like, dude, you good, young. You good. It's okay. Relax.
I'm like, yo, I'm telling you, yo. Like, yo, it ain't a game, yo. It's not a game. You know, he like, yo, you
good. Relax.
I'm like, all right. You right. You right. I'm tripping. You right. I'm like, let's have a good time. So I sit down on the couch. I'm still not saying nothing to really nobody. I'm sitting down and I'm watching yo. I look this way. I see yo walk this way. So I'm like, I see him walk to his man's, Lil Nev. He walks to him. I see them over in the corner talking. He like, yo, such. I just see his homie pull out that 4-4 and hand it to him. I'm like, oh. I see him put the 4-4 in his pocket. He like, put it in his pocket. Put it in his dick. He's like, I'm like, oh, damn. I'm looking around. I'm looking at the kids in there. I'm looking at my homeboy B. He just having a good time. He just having a splendid time. I'm looking at, looking at Corn Dog. He like, yo, he just oblivious. Nobody sees this. I'm the only one to see it. You know what I mean? So he like, put the joint in. I'm like, oh, I ain't make no move, but I'm just sitting there like, just looking. That's when I look away. Yo walk over. He like, yo, Dre.
Like, you step outside real quick, yo, let me holler at you.
I'm like, all right, get up. They walk outside in front of me. I'm walking out. I gave my homeboy Corn Dog a look. I was like, all right, yo. I was like, I'm about to go outside. We're gonna go out here and have a talk real quick. And he gave me a look like, all right. I'm thinking in my mind like, bitch. I look at B. He like, yo, you know what I mean? Who did you? Where my Xbox at? I'm like, yo, B. I was like, yo, we gonna go out here and have a talk real quick, yo. He like, all right. I'm like, oh. I'm like, all right, y'all. Walking, following these dudes out the front door. He walking out there. Shut the door behind me. His homeboy, Lil Nev, he's standing like right beside. He's standing. I'm facing, bro. I'm facing him. I'm like this, and he looking at me like this, and got his hands right here. He like, yo, and his homeboy looking around like, I'm up there looking like, oh. I was like, it's about to be over. So I'm looking like, man. We out there chilling. I mean, we ain't chilling. We talking. He like, yo.
I told you, like, yo, you good, yo?
As bad as it in my mind. I'm like, bitch ass nigga, I ain't good, man. Uplift that shit. Man, use it if you want. Only if I was a fool, I'd have said that. He like, you good? I'm like, what you mean? I'm like, I'm good. He like, you
sure?
As bad as I wanted to see, bitch ass nigga, I ain't sure. I don't give a fuck. Do what you want to do. You and this nigga. Fuck both of y'all. As bad as I wanted to say that, I was like, I'm sure. Nigga, I ain't trying to get shot again. You think it's a game? This is Baltimore, I'm telling you. And then he like,
I told you I ain't on that fighting shit, yo. I don't do no fighting.
I'm like, all right. I see you.
He like, all right, I just want to make sure we good.
I was like, yeah. I'm like, all right.
He like, all right, yo. Let's go back in there.
Whew. Went back in the crib. Sat on the couch. I'm thinking like, all I gotta do is get through this goddamn night without getting shot again. All I gotta do is get through this night. And I sat my behind on the couch, because no matter, I don't care, that 44, that'll get your mind right. Somebody got that 44, that'll get your mind right. But I cannot take nobody smacking me on my hind parts. I cannot take nobody doing anything inappropriate to me, or trying to son me, or smacking me like I'm his little boy, or your bitch. You know what I mean? Any of that. You know what I mean? Your little brother, however you want to make it, however you want to call it. I want to go towards the way like I don't want to be sunned. I don't want to think any further than that, because that it makes me even infuriated. But I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? I'm sitting down, I'm chilling. You know what I mean? I ain't really got no rap for nobody. You know what I mean? So night is over. Fast forward the tape. I ended up going to Loafers on Route 40. This is maybe like 2 months later. I ended up going to Loafers on Route 40 with my brother B. I ended up going up there with one of the drivers from Cowan that me and Big V both know. He was there. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to Mark. He was there. And we up there drinking, having a good time. Who walks in? Big V. Big V walks in. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I ain't losing my composure. I'm like, what's up, yo? Oh, what's up? What's going on? Give each other that. He like, whoa.
What's up, B? What's up, B? What's up, Mark?
What's up, Mark? You know what I mean? Give everybody that. So we up there drinking, watching the game, eating food. You know what I mean? We kicking it at the bar. So we get up and get ready to leave. I get to talking to some people. You know what I mean? We talking to dudes, talking to girls. And then Big V, he puts his arm on me. He like, yo,
come on, Dre. Like, yo, come on, yo.
like he kind of pull. I'm like, yo, get off me, yo. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, don't touch me like that, shorty. You know what I mean? So he like, yo,
what's your problem, yo?
I'm trying to get you out of here safe. I'm thinking like, yo, you trying to son me, yo. You trying to little boy me, man. I felt like dudes trying to little boy me. I felt like it was like a slight curve. Like you trying to curve me on the low. You know what I mean? So he like, yo, come on, yo. So I'm like, yo, chill. I'm like, I'm all right. So that's when we walking out and me and him start getting into it. So that's when I'm like, yo, don't you ain't gotta do all that. Yo, like you talk to me and be like, yo, come holler at me. Don't put your arm around me and yoke me up or nothing like that. Yo, don't do nothing. I don't even like a bouncer doing that. You know what I mean? I ain't even like my big cousins doing that. I don't like nobody touching me like that, for real. Especially when especially when I feel like I ain't doing nothing wrong. You know what I mean? I just feel like dudes be trying to take control. You know what I mean? Don't control you. I'm a grown man. You know what I mean? So anyway, so we walking down the hallway getting out of Loafers. And that's when he like grabs me like by my armpits. Told you, big dude, he grabbed me by my armpits like, yo, chill out, yo. And I'm like, yo, I'm about to swing again. But I'm like, yo, put me down, yo. You know what I mean? Put me the fuck down. You know what I mean? Put me down. He like, yo, what's wrong with you? I'm like, yo, you just don't get it, sure. You just don't get it. You know what I mean? It ain't for, you know what I mean, me to explain and elaborate, because you're supposed to get it. You know what I mean? You're supposed to know. You know what I mean? If you don't know, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, you don't need to be around me. You know what I mean? So anyway, my brother B, he starts to get into it and starts to act like, yo, Dre, you need to calm down, yo. You need to chill out. You know what I mean? So I'm like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you supposed to be my bro. You know what I mean? Man, you grew up together. No, every time you get into something, I got your back. You know what I mean? So don't be trying to calm me down just because this dude is tall. You know what I mean? So anyway, so me and him ends up getting into it. I ends up cussing his ass out. So I'm up there telling the dude, I'm like, yo, don't be picking me up. Don't be trying to sun me. Don't be trying to walk me out of here. Don't do none of that, yo. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, just keep your fucking hands off me, yo. You know what I mean? He just like, yo,
what's wrong with you?
You know what I mean? And me and B got up out of there, got in the car, and got up out of there. Me and him ended up going back around the way and shooting the one-on-one. Now, I was a little annoyed with him, but I wasn't mad at him to where I would hit him in the face. So I just went to his body. We just went body, you know what I mean? Because I knew what he was doing it for a good cause. He wasn't trying to like disrespect me. Because for the most part, he always just thinks like, you know what I mean? He's doing what he's doing. I know it's out of love. You know what I mean? I know it's out of love. But it just was at the wrong time. So me and him ended up shooting. We just went body for like freaking 30 minutes around the way. And then we drunk about it. And then we went about our day. Our night, actually. But at the end of that story, you know what I mean? I told myself, I was like, yo, I can't go out with Big V no more. You know what I mean? Because, you know, he has ways about himself and I got ways about myself. I'm not gonna stand for how he was acting. You know what I mean? And he's not gonna stand for anybody swinging on him. Now, if you act like the way he was acting towards me, you mess around, you gonna get swung on eventually. And with my mind, I know like, okay, if he told me that he ain't fighting, I'm gonna have to use other violence. You know what I mean? And I don't wanna have to do that. So I just took the mature route. He had hit me up like, yo, you know what I mean? You trying to go out for a drink? I'm like, yo, nah, yo, I'm good. You know what I mean? He like, yo, hit me up like, yo, what you doing this weekend? Nothing, yo. Good. Click. I'm good. You know what I mean? Because I just thought that was the more mature way. I gotta let things blow over a little bit. I gotta let things ease out. You know what I mean? Pause. But at the end of the story, you know what I mean? I used to see yo in the gym. You know what I mean? And we started we was okay. You know what I mean? We started playing chess in the gym. You know what I mean? He be like, yo, you know what I mean? What you doing this weekend? I told him, I was like, yo, man, you don't need to drink around each other no more, yo. You know what I mean? Because that was wild. So he used to always put it on me like, yo, you be tripping, yo. You was tripping. You was wilding, yo. You was wilding. I was just trying to help you out, yo. You know what I mean? And then you know what I mean? You hit me in my face. You know what I mean? We was at B house. You know what I mean? Like I thought we was cool, yo. You didn't hit me. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, you don't understand, bro. You don't understand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you violated. You was violating, man. And he didn't understand. So I didn't want to press the issue and try to like make him understand. But I was just like, yo, it's cool. You know what I mean? We can we just don't need to drink around each other no more. We ain't got to go out. But you know what I mean? You ever go to the gym, you know what I mean? I can help you on the bench press. We could work out together and we could play chess. We used to work out in the gym, play chess, but we never went out and kicked it no more. So, you know what I mean? Fast forward the tape, you know what I mean? Even to this day, maybe like 2 months ago, I chopped it up on the phone because I still holler at him on the phone every now and then. He's the one, he always supports my videos and he always supports me to be a better man and a father to my children. He always, we kick it and we talk about, you know what I mean, racism. We talk about economics. We talk about spirituality. We talk about God, getting closer to God. You know what I mean? So over the years, I've grown to forgive, you know what I mean, those 2 nights. You know what I mean? Those 2 nights from yo. I ain't the type to hold grudges, but I am the type to be aware of, potentiality. You know what I'm saying? And things that can happen. So I've learned to forgive, but I don't forget. You know what I mean? So recently, like 2 months ago, I had to kick it to him straight. Like he still was like, yo, you know what I mean? You was tripping that night. Even after all the, you know what I mean? He like, yo, Dre, you doing good. Your workout videos is good. I was like, yo, hold up. I was like, yo, that night, if somebody hit you on your backside, what would you do? And he got quiet. And I was like, exactly. You would have reacted the same way I reacted. So don't be surprised when I reacted the way I did. You know what I mean? Because you know that was foul, what you did. And I respect, he was like, yeah, you right. You right. I was tripping. I was tripping that night, yo. I was tripping, yo. And even when we was at Low, I was like, yo, when we was at Loafers, you know I'm a grown man, yo. I got daughters, yo. I'm a grown man. I got a business. Don't pick me up. Don't try to put your arm around me and say like, yo, come on, chill out, or none of that. I was like, yo, I'm a grown man, and I felt like you was trying to sell me, yo. You know what I mean? Don't be trying to buy nothing. Don't try to punk me or nothing. And he was like, yo, you right. You right. I did that, and I was wrong for that. I was wrong for that. That's all I need to hear. That was like a breath of fresh air right there. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? I think that's what we need more in our communities. That's what we need more in our friendships, relationships, everything. We just need people to be more accountable for their actions. We need to have more open dialogue for the things that we do. A lot of times people do things to us and they try to act like we don't see it. You know what I mean? Just because it's not physically like disrespect, like extremely disrespectful, people think we don't see the underlying, you know what I mean, disrespect that people do to us. You know what I mean? People call you bitch and laugh it off. Ha ha ha. People sit up there, they see you trying to sell something. You know what I mean? You might be selling a product or you might be trying to grow your page or something and your homeboys don't acknowledge you. You know what I mean? And then you be like, dang. You know what I mean? They think you ain't supposed to feel some type of way about that. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, God damn. You know what I mean? Sometimes people will be in your girl face saying too many jokes. You know what I mean? Instead of talking to you, supposed to be over there with your homeboy. Why you in his girl face talking and talking about your career? You know what I mean? Why you over in his girl face talking about vampires and the moon and stars and shit? You know what I mean? Holla, get over there and chill with your homie. And they try to act like they don't know that they being disrespectful. So I think we just need a lot more honesty. And just because something is not blatantly disrespectful, we feel it in our hearts. You know, we feel it in our souls. You know what I mean? And a lot of us, we just got to be way more realer about the things that we do. You know what I mean? Because that's why it's a lot of brothers out here that's locked up. It's a lot of brothers out here that's dead. There's a lot of people that's sitting somewhere and they done made decisions that they wish that they didn't make. And we really got to sit up here and think more. We really got to sit up here and, you know what I mean, and not be so goddamn emotional. You know what I mean? We also got to be a whole lot more realer with each other. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And we just got to get it all out. You know what I mean? Sometimes we just got to get the truth out. You know what I mean? It's going to set us free. But yeah, that's a story with me and Big V. Even to this day right now, you know, we cool. We still ain't been out drinking or doing anything else. But we, you know, I hit him up over the phone and we got good rapport over the phone. You know what I mean? Yeah, he gives me, you know what I mean? He helps me in my growth as a man. You know what I mean? But other than that, yeah, that was the story. And I hope y'all got something out of this. And I hope y'all can take this message and this story, and y'all can take it and create a way to enlighten yourself and enlighten those around you. You know what I mean? But until next time, peace.